Who needs a bunch of CGI when you have that transformation in An American Werewolf in London? And who better to inject some dark comedy into the horror genre than director John Landis, who is fresh off of Animal House and the Blues Brothers. Here, we'll take a look at 10 killer facts about An American Werewolf in London. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with your friends. And subscribe to MovieWeb to keep up with the conversation about all of the things we love. Teen Wolf. John Landis was barely old enough to vote when he first came up with the idea for An American Werewolf in London. 18-year-old Landis was working as a production assistant in 1969 when he first conceived of the idea, but nobody wanted to make his script throughout the following decade. It wasn't until his other successes that he was able to move forward, just in time for the early 80s renaissance of werewolf movies. The Blues Brothers. Producers originally pushed Landis to cast Dan Aykroyd as David and John Belushi as Jack.
It was a dream. I dreamt the whole thing.
David Naughton was most recognizable from Dr. Pepper's Be a Pepper ads. Piccadilly Circus. The success of the writer-director's acclaimed comedies was instrumental in getting the movie made, and the Blues Brothers helped in another more direct way too. London's bustling Piccadilly Circus wasn't exactly friendly to movie productions, so Landis arranged a free screening of the music-driven comedy and invited 300 local police officers. Next thing he knew, after showing them the Blues Brothers, he had permission to shoot there for a few hours, across 2 nights, and even to briefly stop traffic 3 times. A set was constructed off-site for the crew to rehearse, so they could be ready to get multiple takes of the big crash without losing too much time tearing down and setting up again. Landis has a quick cameo during the Piccadilly Circus scene as a pedestrian hit by a car. The Young Ones. Raiders of the Lost Ark and Reds were shooting in London around the same time thanks to a tax break. Frank Oz and Jim Henson were in town too, and they took Landis to the Comedy Store, where he saw future The Young One stars Ade Edmondson and Rick Mayall. Landis offered to create parts for both of the young talents.
All you gotta do is match up 6 pictures of famous noses with 6 pictures of famous bogies.
Though only one of them showed up.
Pathetic.
I don't think they'd really believe me because Ade didn't turn up, but Rick did, Landis later recounted. He was right, I didn't actually have a part for him, but I loved his face, so we sat him down in the Slaughtered Lamb pub for the opening scene, and his presence really helps establish the mood of the movie. First things first. The fake porno in the movie, See You Next Wednesday, was the first thing they shot. See You Next Wednesday is a recurring joke in several John Landis films. Blue Moon. Most fans are aware that the movie is stuffed with classic songs with moon in the titles, like Creedence Clearwater Revival's Bad Moon Rising and Van Morrison's Moon Dance. What's lesser known is that 2 of Landis' requests were denied, Cat Stevens' Moon Shadow and Bob Dylan's version of Blue Moon.
I'll be on my way then.
In the Beware the Moon documentary included on the Full Moon Edition Blu-ray, Landis says Dylan said no for religious reasons, and Cat Stevens believed werewolves are real.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Much better! In a story that will no doubt be familiar to many record producers and filmmakers, elsewhere in the documentary, Landis says he showed executive producers the exact same version of the movie they'd already seen before.
Good movie.
After they'd asked him to tone down the gore. He says the unwitting execs declared the supposed new cut much better. Ratings battle. Getting an R rating was unfortunately a bit more difficult. Test audiences were so shocked at one scene where a group of homeless people are attacked that it was cut entirely. In order to appease the MPAA, Landis also cut back on the sex scenes.
Can I have a piece of toast?
And tossed a moment where a piece of toast falls out of Griffin Dunn's throat. Thriller. Michael Jackson called Landis personally to tell him how much he loved An American Werewolf in London and asked to work with the director and FX master Rick Baker, who won an Oscar for the movie.
Action!
The end result was the music video for Thriller, which almost didn't see the light of day after the singer had a last-minute, Bob Dylan-style religious objection to the content. This is why the video aired with a disclaimer from the King of Pop, assuring fans that he did not endorse, quote, the occult. Oscar history. That much-deserved Best Makeup Oscar snagged by Rick Baker? It was the first of its kind.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Academy for creating this new category, and I'm very proud to be the first winner. Yes.
Previously, the only awards for makeup were given as honorary Oscars. Baker went on to win 6 more Oscars for Best Makeup from 10 more nominations. We hope you enjoyed this look at 10 killer facts about An American Werewolf in London. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with your friends, and subscribe to MovieWeb to keep up with the transformation about all of the things we love. Ow!